Gongo.
Many, many years ago, all the nations were in chaos. But before the chaos, there was peace. A peace that lasted many centuries until things changed. Mortals couldn't take the oppression of the old gods anymore and refused to worship them. The Queen of Mortals, the powerful seer, formed a peace treaty with the old gods at the dawn of time to protect her people. The old gods breached their peace treaty with mortals, a treaty that had been in place since time immemorial. There was a period 5 years where the old gods constantly ravaged mortal settlements in resentment, leaving destruction and death, famine, earthquakes, floods. Humankind tried their best to stay alive, but there was nothing much they could do against the strength and fury of the old gods. With no other option, they prayed out to the Earth Mother, the creator of the old gods and mortals alike. The Earth Mother took compassion on her mortal children and gave to them the new gods, cosmic beings to bring balance and order back to the world. The new gods were created from the desires of mortals. Allah, the goddess of earth and morality, to replenish the lands. Amadioha, the god of storms and love, to clear the poisoned air. Anyanwu, the goddess of the sun and justice, to disperse the gloomy clouds. Idemili, the goddess of seas and rivers, for peace to be reborn. Mother, will you wipe out the old gods? The humans asked, terrified of what could happen to them. The old gods had to go, and they were very desperate. My mortal children, my ways are not yours. They can't be easily comprehended, Earth Mother said in her booming voice. She instructed the Queen of Mortals to select 4 champions to be vessels for the gods. Select your champions and bring them to Mount Ike. There, the journey for the liberation of mortals from the old ones will begin. So the Queen of Mortals set forth to gather her champions. Champions who should be pure at heart, filled with love for everything. Her palace was filled with the most skilled warriors in all the human territories. But the Queen was wise. She knew the champions would be no warrior. So she sent her consort to the homes of some specific people she saw in her divination. When the consorts returned with the Queen of Mortals' chosen champions, all the humans of the world protested in displeasure and anger. They all swore the Queen wanted to wipe them out. If she didn't, she wouldn't have chosen a farmer, a milkmaid, a weaver, and a dancer to fight against the old ones, to liberate them. Amongst the Queen's champions, Ada was there, worried and afraid. She looked at the other champions, Emeka, Oma, and Anayo, and they all looked worried too. The Queen of Mortals stood up and addressed her people. The Earth Mother said our champions should be people who have a pure heart filled with love for everything. No one here fits that position more than these 4. They feel like they don't stand a chance against the old gods, yet they are willing to sacrifice themselves for our freedom. If there's anyone else here that can do that, step forward, she said. There was a deafening silence that moved across the room. No one stepped forward. My decision is final. These are our champions, the Queen said. The Queen of Mortals brought the champions to Mount Ike so the Earth Mother can set things in motion. The Queen thanked Ada and the others for their service to humanity and promised to take care of their families if things didn't go well. The Earth Mother showed herself to them and made each of them vessels of some new gods. Ada was the vessel of Amadioha. Emeka was the vessel of Allah. Oma was the vessel of Anyanwu. Anayo was the vessel of Idemili. The Earth Mother spoke and said, "The way out is not always what it seems. Do well to remember that, my children." Then she blended into the very fabric of time, leaving the mortals on the mountaintop. They descended the mount and went to the border of antiquity, the border of the two worlds. "Go in peace, my children. The gods are with you." The queen said to them and left them with Ada as the leader. It was pitch black at the border of the worlds. Oma conjured up some flames in the palm of her hand, lighting their paths, and they walked up to the long, windy path to the tower of the old gods. The old god of winds and storms attacked first, but Ada blocked it off with her own wind and storm. The old god of the sea attacked, but Anayo defended against it. The ground underneath them trembled, but the Maker acted quickly and stopped the earthquake that was about to happen. Ada saw sadness and anger in the eyes of the gods and channeled thunder and lightning all around the room, shouting, "Stop!" She asked the gods why they were wreaking havoc on their mortal counterparts, and the leader of the pantheon stepped forward. She looked at Ada and said, "Look at us." And then they all saw. She continued, "You mortals are killing us. You pollute the waters, pollute the air, destroy vegetations, destroy the sanctity of the world. We couldn't sit back and let you kill us. We had to do something. Wiping you off would not only do us good, but the whole world. Someday, you might kill your new gods in the same way you almost killed us," she said. The way out isn't always what it seems. Ada remembered the words of Earth Mother. She knew violence wouldn't end this. Only positive action would. She apologized to the old ones and promised to make humanity change its ways. And another treaty was created. The champions returned, and mortals, the old gods and the new gods, all lived in the world in harmony. The day Ekaite was born, the whole community erupted in screams of disbelief. An abomination had happened. Ekaite's father and mother cried, wondering what they ever did to be punished like this. Looking at their dark-skinned red-haired baby, they gathered the resolve to bundle her and cast her out. No witch was welcome in the family or community at large. Ekaite lived her life in seclusion with the outcasts of the village at the outskirts. Even among them, she was still being treated poorly. They saw themselves as normal and her as abnormal. Don't play with Ekaite. Make sure you don't eat from the same plate. Don't go to the stream with her. Parents of the freeborns and outcasts would reprimand their children. "Can I play with you?" Ekaite would ask the other children, but they would refuse. "No, you cannot. Go away, you red-haired witch," they said to her, shooing her away. "But I am not a witch," Ekaite told them, crying. "Our parents say you are a little witch. That's why your hair is red," the children replied, moving away from her. So she does not possess them as their parents promised them if they come within close proximity to her. Ekaite lived a very lonely life, having only music, gardening and animals to keep her company, singing to herself or playing the flute. When she turned 15, the outcasts got so jealous of her beauty and the fact that she was favored by the gods. When the crops of other people fail, Ekaite's crops would grow very healthily. If their animals failed to reproduce, Ekaite's small number of animals would reproduce fine. Her few hens laid enough eggs to sustain her. "You witch! You're doing nothing but bringing suffering to us. Pack your things and leave us alone. We don't want you anymore," they said to her. "But where will I go? My parents and the freeborns have banished me to live here in the outlands. Now you're asking me to leave. Where would I go?" Ekaite asked, crying. "We don't know, we don't care. Just leave us be, that's all," the people replied. This loneliness and solitude are all she's ever known, and now they want to take it from her too. So Ekaite packed her flute, took her animals, took her belongings, and moved away from the outlands. She walked a few miles into the forest and saw a little hut with a rising smoke. She summoned courage and walked to the hut. It was getting dark and she needed somewhere to pass the night. "Knock, knock," Ekaite said as she got to the hut. There was no reply. "Knock, knock," she said again. "Come to the back," an elderly voice said. She went to the back and saw an old albino woman cooking over a fire. "Mama, good evening. I was passing through and wondered if I could pass the night here since it's getting late," Ekaite said. "Of course, my daughter. I don't get that many visitors, so I'll be glad to have you," the old woman replied. Ekaite settled in and sat opposite the old woman. The old woman looked at Ekaite for a while and smiled. "Are you not afraid of me?" she asked her. Ekaite shook her head. "Why will I be? You're a kind woman and helped me in my time of need," she said. "My complexion or lack thereof doesn't disturb you?" the old woman asked her. "No, it doesn't," Ekaite replied. "What is a young child such as yourself doing wandering alone by this time of the day?" she asked worriedly. Ekaite told her about how her parents and village accused her of being a witch, abandoned and ostracized her because of her red hair. "You and I, we are very much alike. When I was about your age, I was kicked out of the village because of my skin color, and because I could see things," the old woman said. "What do you mean when you say you can see things?" Ekaite asked. "I can see glimpses of the future, but you shouldn't worry about that. Eat up and rest, my child," the old woman said. "What do I call you?" Ekaite asked the woman. "My name is Inyobong," the old woman replied. "Thank you so much, Mama Inyobong," she said and got up. Early the next morning, Ekaite got up to clean the compound, but saw that Mama Inyobong had already done it and had breakfast going. "Mama, good morning. You should have let me do it, at least to say thank you." "You've thanked me yesterday, that's enough. You don't owe me anything," Mama Inyobong said. Ekaite insisted on helping her make breakfast, and by noon, they were resting under an orange tree, sucking on juicy oranges and listening to the world around them. "Mama Inyobong, yesterday when you said you see things, can you give me an example of things you've seen?" Ekaite asked her. "When I was 16, I was laying in my hut in the outlands, and I had a vision that a giant Iroko tree fell, and it was only one of its seeds that was blown very far away, that thrived and grew. Till date, I don't know what that vision means. Another time, I told the king that I had a vision where he died on his way to a coronation ceremony of a queen. They laughed it off and said I was rambling. He died, and they burned my house down and paraded me as a witch. That was the day I was banished," Mama Inyobong said. "I'm so sorry," Ekaite sympathized. "It's okay. They've hurt me, and I'm happy they'll be hurt too," Mama Inyobong said with a small smile. "What do you mean?" Ekaite asked. "I had another vision yesterday," she replied. "What happened in this vision?" Ekaite asked. "They all die," Mama Inyobong answered. "No! What can we do?" Ekaite asked, devastated. "They only need to apologize to us. Our mistreatment angered the gods," Mama Inyobong said. "We have to warn them," Ekaite said. "Why? They wouldn't do the same for you. They've only done nothing but hurt you. Why would you want to save them? Are you trying to be a hero?" Mama Inyobong asked. "No, I'm not. I'm only doing it for the innocent children who don't know any better and are being taught to hate. I don't care that the people oppressed me, even my own parents. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it because it's who I am. My conscience won't be at rest. The outcasts who sent me out only did it to feel powerful. It was done to them, so doing it to me makes them feel good. It doesn't excuse their evil, but we can't keep this cycle of evil," Ekaite said. There was a brief silence. "I won't try to stop you, but you must know that they won't listen to you. You'll be wasting your time," Mama Inyobong said. "But at least I can say that I tried," Ekaite replied. With that, she she got up and made her way to warn the villagers, knowing in her heart that they truly might not listen to her, that she might be punished for even trying to help them. But she tried anyway, because though she was called the Red-Haired Witch, she was a piece of sunlight in a world so dark, and she was doing her job of illuminating the darkness.
She rescued a goat and it started talking.
Gongo.
Once upon a time, many years ago, there was a woman named Amaka who lived in a small village. Amaka was a very poor woman, but what she lacked in money, she more than made up for in kindness. Everyone liked Amaka because she was very hardworking and graceful. She treated everyone with respect, even little kids, and carried herself with pride. Some people gossiped about her. They hated that she didn't worship the ground they walked on because she was poor. But Amaka never paid them any mind. She knew she couldn't please everyone. Amaka was a farmer who sold her farm produce at the village markets. Her crops were very fresh, but for some reason, she never made enough sales to sustain her. She did the best she could, grew good crops but never sold well. Not even the many people who liked her really patronized her. Many times she wondered why, but just told herself that maybe luck wasn't on her side. The little she made was enough for her to get by. One morning, as she was on her way to the stream, she saw an injured goat by the roadside. The goat looked so weak and hungry. She didn't know if the goat belonged to someone, so she went ahead to fetch her water. On her way back, she still saw the goat lying in the same spot. She felt so much pity for the poor animal, but she decided to go home and get ready for the day, especially since she didn't know for sure if the goat had an owner. As she prepared for the day, the goat remained on her mind. She loved animals and had helped animals in the past before. The little bird with the broken wing, the dog with a thorn in its paw. She hoped the owner had come to pick it up, but she couldn't keep the goat off her mind. "I'll go and check on it again, and if it's still there, I'll help it," she said to herself. "I'll go and check on it again. If it's still there, I'll help it," she said to herself. She walked down the path that leads to the stream again. This time, the sun has fully risen. She saw the goat still lying there, bleating weakly. She lifted the goat up and carried it home. When she got home, she cleaned the goat up, treated its injuries and fed it the yam and potato peels she had for dinner and breakfast. After she had fed the goat, she put it in her shed and made sure it had everything it needed. She carried her produce to the market again for sales that day. Sales that day were the same as always, slow. After the day, she gathered her wares and left the market. When she got home, she checked on the goat and saw it eating the grass and other food she had arranged in the corner for it. She was so happy that the goat could move now. As she was about to leave the shed, she heard a voice say, "Thank you for helping me. I knew you would help me." She turned to look at the goat, then she laughed. Surely, she must have had a long day and was now imagining things, she thought. As she turned to leave, she heard it again. This time, she saw the goat standing behind her. "Do not be afraid. You are not hallucinating," the goat said. "My name is Oku. Oku the talking goat." Amaka was too shocked to speak. She had never experienced something like that. "How?" "I'm magic. I can help people get their heart desires. I'm not an ordinary goat," Oku said. "You obviously are not an ordinary goat. How did you get there?" Amaka asked. "My last owner wanted to use my power wrongly, and when I refused, he beat me up, starved me, and abandoned me by the bush path. But then you saved me, and now I owe you." "No, you don't. I didn't save you because I was expecting something in return. I just wanted to nurse you back till you're healthy again." Amaka refused. "And that's exactly why I want to help you. You are not expecting anything from me. Tell me what your heart desires are," Oku said. Amaka thought long and hard about this. Okay, I would like for my business to flourish, Amaka said. Oku's horn started glowing. I will come with you to your farm tomorrow morning, Oku said. Amaka agreed and went in for the night. She thought about this mysterious encounter throughout the night. This was a very strange occurrence, but somehow she didn't feel weirded out by the talking goat, whose name is Oku. She couldn't wait for daybreak to see what would become of her life. The next morning, she woke up before the first cockcrow, bathed and went to get Oku from the shed. As they walked down to her farm, Oku talked all the way, and she realized she liked talking to Oku. Oku had many stories to tell and much wisdom to share, and she didn't mind listening to him. When they got to her farm, Oku's horn glowed again. He touched his horn to the ground, and the crops grew bigger and fresher. When they went to the market that day, there was a long line of customers in front of Amaka's store. Amaka couldn't believe it. What did you do? Amaka asked in wonder. You were getting comfortable in your little earnings, and it was becoming evident in the works of your hands. I just broke the barrier, Oku replied. Oku decided to stay with Amaka. It was the first time he ever felt loved and cared for, and Amaka continued taking care of Oku. The more they were there for each other, the more they both flourished. Like a moth to flame, trouble lurked around the corner. Oku's previous owner had caught wind of Amaka's booming business, but he was the only one who thought it was strange. He went back to where he had abandoned Oku, leaving the magic goat for dead, but didn't see Oku's corpse lying there. He didn't know how or why, but somehow he knew Amaka had saved Oku and that Oku was responsible for all her good fortune. It was too much of a coincidence. Snapping his finger, he vowed to put an end to this. Oku can't choose to stop helping and then go ahead and help someone else. Oku must be for him and him alone. If he can't have Oku, then no one will. Amaka spent her hours after coming back from the market talking to Oku. She realized the goat wasn't just magical, but also very wise and intelligent. They exchanged thoughts and ideas, argued on principles, and shared jokes between themselves. To Oku, Amaka was a gift. She was as much of a gift to him as he was to her. This made him so happy. He had never felt this happy with any of his owners. Its white fur shone brighter. It was now round and full, and its horns appeared to be more polished. Amaka, my friend, Oku said one evening during their conversations. Yes, she replied. Oku was quiet for some time, deep in thoughts, as if putting thoughts together. I don't know how to explain this because it's also unclear to me, but I see you and I at a crossroad, and dark, heavy clouds hang above us. I think this means a difficulty lies ahead. What do you think? Oku finished and asked Amaka. It was Amaka's turn to be quiet and deep in thoughts. Whatever it means, I know we'll overcome it. We've both been through dark times before. This won't be different, Amaka said, reassuring Oku. In reality, she was reassuring herself too. Her reply pleased Oku and put his mind at rest. They talked a bit more about Amaka's day before she had to retire for the night in preparation for the next day. Amaka opened her stall and set up for the day. She displayed her fruits, vegetables, and other wares as she waved and greeted her neighbors in the market. Her day started so well. She had many customers on that day, and this pleased her. She couldn't wait to tell Oku about her day. As she was packing up for the day, a man came to her stall. She knew him. He was one of the richest people in the village. Onochie, you came to my stall today. Am I safe? She asked half jokingly, because Onochie had never patronized her until now. You are indeed safe, Onochie said, laughing and shaking his head. If you say so. How may I be of help to you? Amaka asked. I need one fresh melon, he ordered. Would you like anything else? She asked him. He just shook his head and said no. After she sold to him, she closed her stall and went home for the day, grateful for a good day. The next few weeks were the same typical ones she was accustomed to, but one thing stood out. It seemed like nothing to her at first, but the repetitiveness of the purchase weirded her out. Onochie has been coming to her stall every day for the past few weeks, buying the same thing. It was very unusual. There's a man that's been coming to my stall now to buy the same thing for the past few weeks. A melon. I don't know, I think it's very weird. Especially because he didn't used to buy things from me before, Amaka said as she gave Oku his night meal. This man, what's his name? Oku asked. Onochie, Amaka replied. Oku wondered if it could be the same Onochie he knew, but shook his head. The Onochie he knew thought he was dead. It couldn't be. Please just be very careful of this strange man, Oku told Amaka, and she nodded in agreement. After a very busy day at work, Amaka made her way home. The only thing on her mind was to bathe, eat, talk to Oku, and then sleep. But as soon as she got home, she realized something was amiss. Her door was open. Her heart beat hard against her chest. She could hear Oku bleat loudly, as if in panic, and rushed to its shed. There she saw Onochie standing with a cutlass. Onochie, what are you doing here? How did you get into my shed? What do you want with my goat? Amaka asked, bewildered. Onochie laughed like a deranged man and pointed the cutlass to Amaka. Your goat? Or my goat? He asked with a crazed look in his eyes. This goat is rightfully mine. What are you even talking about? Amaka asked. This evil man was my former owner, Oku said. Amaka got filled with so much anger. So you were the one who left this poor goat to die, she shouted. Why did this stupid goat stop helping me? Tell me. And then he came to help you, Onochie shouted too. But you are a very wicked soul, Onochie, and the only stupid person here is you, you greedy man, Amaka said, standing in front of Oku with her arms spread protectively. If I can't have him, no one will, Onochie said and charged at Amaka and Oku. Oku shouted and its horns glowed, creating a protective barrier between they and Onochie. This threw Onochie many feet away, knocking him out. After villagers heard the commotion, they ran into Amaka's shed to see what was happening. Amaka explained everything to them, but kept Oku's secret safe. Onochie was arrested and taken to the queen for judgment, and peace was restored to Amaka's house, where she and Oku lived together happily ever after.
Gongo.